Do you remember when a bunch of billionaires died in a submarine, and instead of mourning, the whole internet basically celebrated? Well, it all starts with this guy, Stockton Rush. Stockton was a pilot and an engineer, but what he really wanted to do was explore the unknown, like Captain Kirk on Star Trek. Back in 2004, he decided he wanted to explore the deep ocean, but when he looked into renting private submarines, he was shocked to find out there were barely any out there. So he thought, hey, I'll just build my own. In 2009, he founded his own company, OceanGate. By 2016, OceanGate was taking tourists underwater to see Italian shipwrecks. But that wasn't enough for Stockton. He wanted to go bigger. He wanted to take tourists to a destination that would get his company massive buzz and attention, the wreckage of the Titanic. But traditional deep-sea submarines are massive, and they are incredibly expensive to build. Stockton wanted his to be cheap, so he built a sub about the size of an SUV, and he cut a lot of corners on the materials. He added a bunch of pre-made parts to save money, and notoriously, he installed a Logitech video game controller to steer the entire thing. He named this new submarine the Titan. Now, not everyone was on board with this plan. An OceanGate employee named David looked at the Titan and immediately saw major red flags that could cause a leak. David brought these serious safety concerns to the bosses. He insisted the sub wasn't strong enough and begged them to get it officially inspected and certified. But Stockton felt that accidents were caused by operator errors, not equipment. He thought extra inspections were basically useless. So what did they do to the guy raising the safety concerns? They fired David on the spot. They gave him exactly 10 minutes to clear out his desk and escorted him out of the building. With no one left to question him, Stockton took the Titan down for a solo test drive. At 10,000 feet down, the sub completely lost communication with the surface. But Stockton wasn't scared. He just looked out the window, living his Captain Kirk fantasy until he finally piloted it back up. He was incredibly overconfident. At one point, he was even quoted saying, "At some point, safety is just pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed." By 2021, OceanGate started charging super wealthy tourists $250,000 a ticket to see the Titanic. Over the next few years, they took multiple trips, but they lost communication constantly. The Titan had over 118 different technical issues. One time, the battery died, and the passengers were trapped inside for 27 whole hours. Most people would say, forget that. But these billionaires just kept paying and kept going. Then came the summer of 2023. 5 people got into the sub for the next expedition. Stockton, a Titanic expert, 2 billionaires, and a 19-year-old son. They took off and started to submerge. For over an hour, everything was going fine. They even sent a message to the surface saying, all good here. But then, suddenly, things went wrong. According to one terrifying theory, they lost power. The Titan slowly tilted and started to nosedive toward the ocean floor. The passengers would have been sitting in pitch darkness for about 60 seconds, completely panicking, wondering if this was the end. And then, boom, the Titan imploded. The underwater pressure was just too much, and it crushed the sub like a soda can. It wasn't drawn out or dramatic. It was instant death within milliseconds. They felt nothing. When the story broke, it was all over the news.
Breaking news now. The OceanGate Titan submarine has lost contact during its descent. Search and rescue operations have begun for the vessel and its crew.
But when the internet heard about it, they were ruthless. People were making tons of memes, literally dancing on their graves. The general consensus online was, yeah, screw those billionaires. They deserved it. It was one of the wildest, darkest reactions in internet history. If you found this story crazy, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the dark side of reality. See you in the next video.